The Third World War. We didn't see begin history doesn't repeat itself. It simply changes costumes. The Third World War, if we dare to call it that, hasn't erupted in a single defining moment. Instead, it has crept upon us in whispers of assassinations, silent invasions, and battles that remain unacknowledged by the very people fighting them. In 1914, a 19-year-old Bosnian boy pulled the trigger that killed Archduke Franz Ferdinand. What followed was World War I. Today, the world watches as Israel targets figures like Hezbollah's Hassan Nasrallah and Hamas's Ismail Haniyeh. There is speculation about assassination attempts against Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky. Are these isolated events or sparks already ignited? The mother of all wars, World War III. The killing of political and military leaders is never an end. Rather, it is just a start, a move on the chessboard that forces an equal or greater retaliation. But unlike in 1914, when Europe held the keys to global destruction, today's battlefield extends from Kiev to Gaza, from Tehran to Israel, from Russia to Europe, from China to USA. When Adolf Hitler invaded Poland in 1939, the world tried to ignore it until it couldn't. The same has happened now. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict isn't just a regional dispute, it is a global fracture line. Maps are being redrawn, not with ink, but with blood. Settlements are expanding, ceasefires are collapsing, and the world is watching. Yet history teaches one undeniable truth. When borders shift, wars begin. This was true when the Soviet Union collapsed in the 1990s. And it is true today, as new lines are drawn on maps, without the consent of the people living on them. More than 20,000 innocent children have been killed in Gaza. Their parents, siblings might have only one purpose: revenge. Just as generations of conflicts in the world have fueled endless cycles of violence, the deaths of these children will plant the seeds of new wars. Wars are not just fought on battlefields. They are fought in the hearts of those who have lost everything. So what can be there in the heart of Vladimir Putin? The Soviet Union disintegrated in the 1990s. The lesson was clear. Superpowers can fall. Russia and China watch as the US stretches itself thin, fighting proxy wars, controlling global trade, and engaging in military conflicts on multiple fronts. The real aim of Putin might not just be Ukraine, it could be the disintegration of the US itself. Both the Ukraine and Gaza conflicts have drawn in the world's most powerful nations. The direct clash about to occur between NATO and Russia, Iran and Israel, China and USA are getting the situations out of control. The chessboard is set, only the final move remains. A combination of these conflicts have created a multi-front war in different forms: economic warfare, sanctions, energy wars, oil and trade disruptions, nuclear threats, phosphorus bombs, and cyber attacks. Will it officially become World War III? A world war usually involves direct conflict between global superpowers. Right now, these conflicts are in their intaill stages, until one fine morning you wake up and see the stock exchange crippling, gold price rising, and job layoffs. But the final truth remains. The cycles of war in history are undeniable. World War I led to World War II. The Cold War nearly became World War III. Now, with global tensions at an all-time high, we may already be living through the early stages of the Third World War. If history and human nature are any indication, World War IV is not a question of if, but when. Albert Einstein once said, "I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones." Wars will never stop. Some fight to conquer, some fight for freedom. If you see the patterns of history repeating, ask yourself, are we already at war and just too distracted to realize it? History is a witness, an unblinking observer of the cycles of war and fleeting peace. Across 3,650 years of recorded time, there have been only 268 years without major wars, a mere whisper of calm in a storm of violence. And even those years, they weren't truly peaceful. Somewhere in some forgotten corner of the world, a battle raged, a rebellion brewed, or a blade found its mark in the dark. Never in all of human history has there been a single day without conflict. Not one. The death toll, unfathomable. Historians wrestle with the numbers, struggling to grasp the full scale of devastation. The estimates vary between 150 million to a staggering 1 billion souls lost to war. Among them, one conflict stands as the most horrifying of all: World War II, where an unimaginable 70 to 85 million lives were wiped away. But World War III, which is happening, could be 100 times worse. The weapons of the past were limited: soldiers, bombs, tanks, guns. But today's warfare is silent, invisible, unstoppable. Biological weapons can spread pandemics faster than we can react. Tactical weapons are more destructive than nuclear bombs. But the deadliest weapon of all? The one in your hand right now. Your smartphone, your laptop, your smartwatch, electric gadgets, every device connected to the grid can be turned against you. A single command could turn millions of phones into bombs. Imagine 1 billion people carrying their own execution devices, unaware until it's too late. Imagine you wake up one morning and see your phone is hacked, all of your money is gone, and account balance is zero. You don't believe it? Ask yourself and you have the answer. The powerful have already prepared. They have built underground cities, nuclear-proof shelters, radiation-proof walls. They know what's going on. Tech billionaires, world leaders, and military elites, they have built underground fortresses far from the chaos above, safe, hidden, sealed away from whatever is coming. Elon Musk focused on Mars but making plans for survival on Earth. Bill Gates invested in nuclear-proof shelters, pandemic defenses, and secret stockpiles. Jeff Bezos secured vast high-security estates, rumored to have underground escapes. Governments, too, have their safe havens. Deep beneath mountains, under cities, and in remote locations, they have built shelters that we will never see. The U.S. has Cheyenne Mountain, Mount Weather, fortresses designed to withstand the end of the world. Russia has Metro 2, a hidden underground city for its leaders. China has deep bunkers beneath Beijing, prepared for what they know is inevitable. The rich have secured survival. The powerful ensured their safety. But what about us? We are just busy with scrolling reels and proving that we are the best, secure, and successful. Intellects have not only prepared for war, they are living it. They know something we don't. The real question is why? Because we are colonized to believe that all is normal. Don't forget, history repeats itself, but this time, the war has started with bullets, bombs, and smartphone blasts. It will be joined by silence. Then, in an instant, darkness, chaos, death. Look around you: Ukraine, Gaza, rising tensions between global superpowers, alliances forming, threats exchanged, economic warfare, cyber warfare, biological threats. Wars have always started from a small spark, but they always end in devastation. And this is the spark that will end everything. The war we can't escape is going on. If you liked the video, then hit that share button and subscribe.